leptin and ghrelin, which
Yes.
work against each other. So you start to get higher ghrelin levels. So your hunger, you just constantly feel hungry. That is actually, I mean, as I said, everything is under genetic control, but one of the genes that we report on is actually the leptin receptor.
Okay.
So that's the receptor in the brain that when you're eating, as your stomach fills up, it sends a signal, a leptin signal to the brain to say, okay, you've had enough, stop eating.
We full now. Mm-hmm.
So some people inherit a variant of that gene where the receptor is a little bit deaf.
Mm-hmm.
And so they still get the signal, the leptin is still released, but the receptor doesn't really get the memo until maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes later. So that, and you see that manifest. So this is where I was saying earlier, the phenotype. So the phenotype of that would look like somebody either who overeats, so they always dish themselves a really big plate of food and then mow that down and then feel really, really, really full. Or it's somebody who eats and then 10 minutes later they need a snacky, and then another half an hour later they need another snacky. So I mean, there are interventions that we put in place because obviously if that's genetically driven, in order to get that satiety, because that's what's lacking, it's that feeling of satiety. So that's looking at when you are snacking, instead of reaching for the Romany creams, you need to be looking at more kind of protein and good fat-rich snacks so that they fill that gap actually.
Yeah.